Here's why your relationships get messed up. I bought this car a couple years ago, but the title on the marketplace said 2004 Nissan Xterra. This car is like 20 years old, and I knew my expectations from the beginning. But what happens when you find a newer car? There's no title that says 20-year-old car here. Just a beautiful Porsche. Like I said, 20-year-old car. So when I pulled up, I knew there were gonna be issues with it. The guy even told me, hey, the back door doesn't open. And so when I pulled up and I saw that it looked nice, they had a good paint job, okay, it looks good, but I also had realistic expectations because the label said 20 years old. When I don't know what the problems are, all I see is what's beautiful right in front of my own eyes. And I stop thinking clearly, my heart starts beating, and I start thinking things like, this is amazing. I need this. $60,000 doesn't seem like that much money. I promise everyone has their own issues. Here's what you do. Embrace their flaws, but first give a pause. That's a little cheesy, I know, but embrace their flaws, but first give a pause. Look, when you first meet someone, they often appear better than they really are. So pause. Be rational. Ask yourself, what are the issues likely to arise in the future if I become friends with or have a relationship with this person? It's a rational thing you gotta think through. The door doesn't open. Okay, embrace their flaws. But first give a pause. You're gonna stop and say, hey, now that I know the issue, is this an issue I can deal with long term? That's what you're trying to figure out. I've got a list of 6 non-negotiables you must have if you're gonna be friends with or be in a relationship with someone. I'm gonna give those to you. But if you want to go more in depth, or know more about Revolution Church or this topic in general, you can click the links below. It's gonna take you to our website or the YouTube site or our Facebook site. You can watch us talk about this live on Sunday morning or the video anytime afterwards. Just check the description. Now, what are those 6 non-negotiables that you need to know about before getting into a relationship with someone? Number 1, you must have someone as a friend or partner who can admit that they have flaws. And not like, oh, it takes gritted teeth to be able to say, I was wrong, but like, can kind of easily admit it. Not that anybody enjoys admitting they have flaws, but someone who isn't gonna have to go through an hour-long fight before they admit when they made a mistake. Number 2, someone who confesses their specific flaws. Not just, yeah, I messed up again, but like, the door doesn't open. I looked at pornography again. You fill in the blank. The point here is that they need to be humble enough to be able to admit something specific so that they can deal with the specifics. If someone's not mature enough and honest enough to be able to say exactly what went wrong, they're probably not mature enough to be in a relationship with you, even if it's just a friendship. Number 3, someone who changes and grows. That's who you want to be friends with. The Bible says the wise in heart actually accept commands, but chattering fools come to ruin. So you don't want these people who they talk good game, but they just blah, 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 blah. You want people who are gonna grow, who are gonna accept correction. If someone's like that, then no matter what their flaws are, you can possibly be friends with this person. Number 4, someone who's honest. The Bible says that God cannot lie, but that lies are the devil's native language. So I hope I'm not overstating it here, but you get to choose whether you want to have friendship or relationship with someone who's more like God or more like the devil. You're probably thinking about your ex right now, aren't you? Look, this is a serious issue. You want people who are going to be honest with you and honest with themselves. You don't want to mess around with liars. You want someone who views themselves realistically, right? You don't want the person who's like, oh yeah, I'm gonna get a record deal any day and I'm gonna drive this Porsche and I'm gonna, when they're homeless, jobless, and honestly, they're not that good a rapper anyway. Like, you don't want that. You want someone who's realistic. Don't get me wrong. You want someone who has hopes and dreams, but there's a very big difference between I'm gonna buy this Porsche and I'm on step 4 out of 20 and someone who doesn't even know whether it's realistic or not. You just want someone who lives in the real world. Right? It's okay to have hopes and dreams, but what I'm saying is if you get someone who doesn't understand themselves, they're never gonna accept correction, they're never gonna be able to help you grow. It's gonna be really frustrating overall as you try to become a better person. You want someone who's realistic about themselves and the world they live in. Final one. You want to be friends with someone or be in a relationship with someone who knows that they were made for a church community and lives to benefit others. When I met my wife, Meadow, in college, she was always helping other people, whether it was leading a Bible study or even doing other girls' hair in the choir before their concerts. She was out there to serve people. You want someone who isn't selfish. You want someone who is selfless, because they'll be in the relationship for both of you, not just for themselves. When you have kids, they're gonna be there for the kids and not just themselves. They'll be in it for the community. You know, God created you and everyone else with a specific talent so that you exist to glorify Him, but also to help other people know Him better. When you're in a relationship with someone who knows this and lives like this, everything gets better. They can work on themselves and they can help other people. You want to be in a relationship with someone who's selfless, not selfish. When you live like this in your friendships or your romantic relationship, you put these principles into action, your relationships will get deeper. Your life will actually get better and you'll be disappointed far less often. Now, if you want more information on this topic, we have another video that goes much more in depth. You can find that in the link below, where we explore each of these things and give the principles that underlay each of them. As always, you're welcome out to Revolution Church. Watch live online with us every Sunday morning or come in person. We'd love to have you. And here's thank you to Long MacArthur Ford in Salina, Kansas. Thanks for letting us borrow the Porsche. Trade?